15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition, liftoff. Simplify, aim high. Go Falcon, go Dragon.
On May 27, 2020, SpaceX was scheduled to launch their first passenger flight with NASA. Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley were the chosen astronauts to accompany their latest capsule, the Crew Dragon, throughout its journey into space. The two men would have embarked upon a 19-hour journey from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida to the International Space Station, which orbits at over 250 miles above planet Earth. For the past 6 years, SpaceX have been developing the Crew Dragon capsule, which will soon be able to transport astronauts to and from the International Space Station on a regular basis. Prior to today's flight, SpaceX have never sent humans to ISS. Even though the Crew Dragon capsule has flown to the space station a few times already, it never actually held passengers on board its journeys. May 27th would have marked its first trip to the space station with 2 astronauts on board. However, due to the inclement weather conditions, the launch was called off and did not get approved for flight. Reports explain that the Air Force's 45th Space Wing, which oversees launch operations for the eastern coast of the United States, had been monitoring weather conditions very closely. Prior to the launch, a tropical storm began forming off the coast of South Carolina. Since the safety of the astronauts could be endangered by executing the launch during bad weather conditions, the launch was rescheduled to occur this Saturday. This mission is especially meaningful and important as it will mark the first time a commercially built spacecraft will arrive at the International Space Station. This mission is also a part of the Commercial Crew Program, which was designed by NASA to provide partnerships with private companies that develop shuttles to carry out regular visits to the space station. As a result, this test flight will mark the beginning of a new relationship between SpaceX and NASA. NASA ended their space shuttle program in 2011. Since then, they have been reliant on Russian shuttles for their flights to ISS. NASA pays about $80 million per seat, which is their only option for getting people to the station. Having a private company like SpaceX, capable of developing similar shuttles that can transport both supplies and passengers to the station, will tremendously help NASA by giving them an easier and more cost-effective method of transportation. Although SpaceX hasn't been the only company NASA have assigned this task to, they have also invested in Boeing to develop a shuttle that can complete the journey to the space station. SpaceX received more than $3 billion from NASA to develop the Crew Dragon capsule, while Boeing was given around $4.5 million to design a similar capsule called the CST-100 Starliner. As for now, SpaceX have been leading the way and are ready to launch the Crew Dragon, while Boeing are still conducting testing for their Starliner capsule. If all goes as planned, it's a quick trip to Earth's orbit for the 2 astronauts. The Falcon 9 rocket will release the Crew Dragon into low Earth's orbit approximately 12 minutes after takeoff. The rocket will then return to Earth, where it is scheduled to land on a ship in the Atlantic Ocean, while the 2 astronauts guide the Crew Dragon to the International Space Station. Since the Crew Dragon is equipped to remain in space for about 4 months, the returning of the astronauts will be within the next few months. If you enjoyed this video, thanks for watching, and consider subscribing for the latest news in technology, cars, and more.